Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hadira binti Muhammad Hamidi. My matric number is S71503. Today I'm going to present my individual assignment. To answer the question, you need to key in data first. To key in data, you click create and then click table design. And for field name, first type customer ID and then customer name, and then city and then state. And lastly, credit limit. For data type, customer ID, choose number. And then for credit limit, choose currency. And then click customer ID and primary key. And then save table as customer. And then click OK. And for the second table, first item ID, and then description, and then STD cost, and then list price, and lastly quantity on hand. For data type, item ID, choose number, STD cost, choose currency, list price, choose currency, quantity on hand, choose a number. And then primary key for item ID and save as inventory. And then click OK. And the third table, for the third table, first invoice, and then sale date, and then salesperson, customer ID, amount. For data type, invoice, choose number, sale date, choose date or time, salesperson, choose short text. For customer ID, choose number, and lastly amount, choose currency. And then primary key for invoice and save as sales. And for the last one, create table design, and then for the first field name, invoice, and then item ID, and then quantity, sell price. For invoice data type, choose number, item ID, choose number, quantity, choose number, and sell price, choose currency. And then primary key for invoice and item ID and save as sales inventory. And then click OK. Next, we need to key in data for all table. First, for customer, insert the customer ID, and then customer name, and then the city, and then state, and then insert the amount for credit limit. After done with customer, key in data for inventory, and then sales inventory. After done key in all the data, we can answer the question. First, to answer the question, click create and then query design. For question 8, click Inventory and Sales Inventory table. And then link the item ID for inventory with item ID for sales inventory. And then in the field name, choose item ID, description, and quantity on hand. And then click totals. In the quantity on hand column, for the criteria, click more than 100 and then click run. So this is the answer for question A. And then save as QA. For question B, choose the sales inventory and inventory table and then link the item ID for sales inventory and item ID for inventory. And then choose item ID, sell price, quantity, and invoice. In the invoice criteria, type 103 and then click run. And here's the answer for question B. And then save the question, save it as QB. Next, for the question C, create query design, choose customer, sales, and then link the customer ID and customer ID for customer and customer ID for sales, and then choose customer name, salesperson and salesperson, and then click totals. And for criteria for salesperson, type Martinez and then click run. So this is the answer for question C and save as question C. For question D, click sales and customer. And then link the customer ID for sales and customer ID for customer. And then choose invoice, sales date, salesperson, and customer name, and lastly amount. And then click totals. For amount column, for sort, type descending, and then for criteria more than 1500. And then click run. And this is the answer for question D. Save the query as question D. Next, for question E, choose sales inventory table and inventory table. And then link the item ID for sales inventory and item ID for inventory. And then choose invoice, item ID for inventory, description for inventory, and sell price for sales inventory. And lastly, list price and quantity. And then add extension. In the sell price column, for the criteria part, type less than and more than inventory dot list price. And for item ID, For the sort, choose descending. For the extension, tick the box. And then click run. And this is the answer for question E. For question F, choose sales, sales inventory, and inventory table. For sales and sales inventory, link the invoice. And then for sales inventory and inventory, link the item ID. And then click invoice for sales. And then sale date for sales. Item ID for inventory. Sales price for sales inventory. And quantity for sales inventory. And then type profit margin. Sell price minus STD cost. Divide by sell price. And then tick the box. And for the sort, choose descending. And then click run. So this is the answer for question F. And then save SQF. Next, for question G, choose sales table and sales inventory table and inventory table. Then link the invoice for sales and sales inventory and item ID for sales inventory and inventory. Then for the first column, choose invoice for sales inventory and then sale date for sales. This item ID for inventory. Sale price for sales inventory. Quantity for sales inventory. And then type profit. Sell price minus STD cost. Multiple with quantity. And then for the sort, choose descending and then tick the box. And in the invoice column, for the sort, choose ascending. And then click run. So this is the answer for question G. And then save it as question G. Next, for question H, choose sales. And then in the sales table, choose sale date. And then write number of sales. Count invoice. And then in the sale date column, for the criteria, type between and then the date. and then click totals, and then for the sort of number of sales, choose expression and then click run, and then this is the answer for question H. Next, for question I, choose customer table, and then for the first column, choose date, choose customer ID. Next, and then click totals. For the total customer ID, type code, and then for the criteria for the state, type AZ. And then click run. So this is the answer for question I. Save it as QI. Next, for question J, choose customer table, and then choose date, and then type count of customer, and then click totals. For the sort of state, choose ascending. For total of count of customer, choose expression, and then click run. And here's the answer for question J. Save as QJ. Next, for question K, choose sales table, and then choose salesperson, and for the next column, type total amount. And then click totals, and for the sort, choose descending, and then click run. So here's the answer for question K. And then save the query as QK. And then click OK. Next, for the last question, which is question L, choose table sales inventory and inventory, and then link the item ID for sales inventory with inventory, and then choose item ID for sales inventory, a description for inventory, and then for the third column, type total sold, quantity, and then click totals. For the third column, for the total, choose sum, and then for the sort, choose ascending, and then click run. So here's the answer for question L, and then save it as QL. So that's all for my individual assignment. Thank you.